presidents. You know who, Claire? Can you remember?
I've forgotten him already. Who is it again?
I was just checking.
No,
me neither. Grover Cleveland.
Of course.
Our mate Grover. Not since him has an American president won 2 non-consecutive elections. Cleveland won in 1884. He lost in 1888. Then he won again in 1892, making him the 22nd and 24th president of America. Now Trump has done the same thing. So how will history remember him? Will there be radio presenters frantically trying to remember his name in 100+ years? Dr. Laura Smith is a specialist in American presidential history and is based at Arizona State University. Hello, Laura. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Is this the biggest political comeback story in American history?
Well, I think we could say probably certainly in our century so far, and it's been a whirlwind of a 21st century. It's where to start in a lecture. But you're right. I mean, Grover Cleveland, I think the comparison is kind of interesting as well, in the sense that Grover Cleveland actually won his second term based on an economic...
Oh, how disappointing. All the way out there in Arizona. I think we'll try and get the line back, because, Laura, are you there? Are you there, Laura?
Yep, I'm still there.
Oh, you're there. We lost you. Carry on. You were just beginning to tell us a little about Grover Cleveland, so do carry on.
Yes, no, I was just saying another parallel is that he had his message with his re-election win based on an economic message. So that focus, that success, the significance of the economy is similar in both. Right.
But if you look at Trump, love him or loathe him, if you look at the record, he survived 2 impeachments, numerous federal and state indictments, a conviction for which he's slated to be sentenced later this month, isn't he? His own former chief of staff, some senior advisors called him a fascist. He's endured 2 assassination attempts, including the one where the bullet struck his ear. And now he's got the popular vote after previously losing it twice. I mean, in 50 years' time, when people look back at this, I studied the American presidency when I was at university, and some of that was unbelievable to me. But students in 50 years' time will look back at this and go, what? Really?
Well, yeah, and I'm not going to age you, but no, it's absolutely this sense of my students today look at Nixon and Watergate, and they're just like, well, how are we supposed to understand? How is it that Watergate happened in the election year and he still got elected? What happened? Why did it take 2 years to ramp up the impeachment and the pressure to resign? And it's just the fact that it was so complicated. People were just not interested in the Washington Post investigative journalism until the actual consequences of it became clear. So I think there's this sense of information overload. There was a sense of it in 1972 with the details of the investigation, and there's a sense of it now. And just like what you laid out, it's enough to give someone a migraine in terms of trying to cover it all and understand it all in terms of the trajectory. Yeah. There are so many things that could have taken Trump out at any point, and he's sort of been Teflon so far, but it doesn't mean that he'll continue to be that way.
Just a final question, and I'm just wondering about the power that he's got in his hand now, because how often are presidents in the total control that he will find himself in, with the White House, obviously, with the Senate being Republican, likely that the House of Representatives is going to continue being Republican, the Supreme Court loaded in his favor with judges on his side. How often does that happen in American politics?
I mean, this was a huge success for the Republicans last night. So he's definitely, in terms of actually winning the popular vote as well, which he'd never done before, he says that he's claiming a mandate, which I think he would have done regardless of the popular vote result. But I think he has a sense that he is able to almost have some legitimacy in claiming it and try and push whatever programs he and his advisors may have to go forward.
Okay, Laura, thank you. Thank you very much indeed. That's Dr. Laura Smith. Apologies for a few of the... a bit of a shaky line, wasn't it? But Laura's a specialist in American presidential history at Arizona State University.